Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday speech, Sunday public meeting. My name is Juliana, and I've been with the group since 2011 as a volunteer. I'll be talking to you today about family and the planetary transition. This was a speech I gave a few years ago, so I just took it and changed a little bit to be a bit more up to date. And this is what I'm going to see. I don't know if you see my, yeah, I think you can see my screen. Just, yeah, there we go. Now it's the same. So I would like to start with an initial prayer. If you would like to sit comfortably, close your eyes, take a deep breath, connect to the spiritual world, elevate your thoughts, connect to the spiritual guardian. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. I'd like to thank our guardians, the spiritual guardians of the group. I'd like to ask them to guide us on this speech today. May their word be spoken and their words connect to everyone that will be listening today. I wish them to bless us with a prayer and a healing so we could have a nice week. And so be it. Okay, here we go. So the title today is Family and the Planetary Transition. It's the family role in the planetary transition, which is a moment that we are passing now. And of course, not only for this year, but we have been experiencing a lot of transformation in our world, in the way we live, in the way. So this is all something that it's being planned and it's happening. So first, I'd like to just talk a little bit about planetary transition. And before, I need to attend to one fact. In the 60s, we discovered that actually our solar system moves around a bigger constellation, the Pleiades of Alcyone. Now, we move around them, not only, in the universe, everything's moving around and it looks chaotic, but it's not, it's a very organized chaos. So we discovered that we actually being influenced, by this, and this is astronomically, by this constellation of Alcyone. And what is that important? The thing is, they discovered that we take 26,000 years, our solar system takes Milky Way, to go around this. But there is a part that we actually are very near to them, to the constellation. Alcyone is the main sun, so that's why they call constellation the Pleiades of Alcyone. And we actually, since more or less 1972, we have been entering the Alcyone's belt. Now, what is this Alcyone belt? That's a belt that has around the constellation of Alcyone that we enter. Alcyone goes like this, and we goes like this. So we get into the part that we enter in those belts. This belt, we stayed around 2,000 years crossing this belt. And the only thing is that this is a lot of photons. Photons is the minimal parts of the light. So it's a lot of light. It's so much light that they call this part the light, the dark time, the light time. And when we pass this belt, we call the dark side. This is astronomically influence. But what this has to do with planetary transition? Well, we have been entering planetary transition, and this is actually and it's not casuality. It's exactly around this time that we are much more influenced by the photons of the Alcyon's belt. This gives more light to Earth, physically speaking, because it's a photon belt that we pass in, we get more light. This is also spiritually speaking. So, and one way to explain this, for example, if you have a room that usually have a 30-watt lamp there, but this room is not something when you just put stuff there. It's your garage, it's your room that you don't actually clean much. You don't just put stuff there that you don't want to use. It's a storage room. Now it happens that you have to change the light bulb, and you have like 100 light bulb, and you put 100 light bulb. Once you put 100 light bulbs, you get more light, and you're gonna see more dirt, things that you haven't seen before. So that's what we experience. We experience more light. We have been seeing things much more that we haven't seen, good things and bad things as well. So that's one characteristic of the planetary transition. We are receiving more light. We are seeing more things. Now that's why I just would like to talk a little bit. Now, the other thing is Earth evolution status. In the Spirit's book, they talk about the words, the different words. It's also in the Gospel according to the Spiritism. And we know that Earth it's being on the tests and atonements, and we go into regeneration word. This is just a way, a very broad way, general way to classify how Earth is evolving or how the world evolves. We have the primitive world, which is a little perception of the divine laws. We have the tests and atonements, which Earth is presently in. We live in this one, but we have been this, tests, atonements, where there's the presenting of divine law. We got, Jesus played a very big part on this. Jesus came in and presented divine laws to us, Of course, we had, it's all a process, And then there is the regeneration word, where we live more in accordance with divine laws, Put this back like primitive is like very instinctive. Test and atonement is, it's not only instinctive, it's our passions, our feelings. We are working on this. We have to work on our passions. And there is lots, like, we feel like evil prevail. Regeneration, it's still a little bit of evil, but doesn't prevail. We live more in accordance. And when I talk about evil here, it's not like the devil, no. It's like the passions, the evil feelings we have, the things that, they are not fraternal. They don't bring us close to God. That's the only difference. So at the moment, we live in test and atonement and go into the regeneration world. But of course, everything in nature, in the universe, doesn't happen in a day, like from this day. That's one of the things as well. Spirituals never give us data about what is happening, when it's going to happen, And dates are not good, because dates is just a fraction, a minimal fraction of time when you compare with time the universe evolved, how many billions of years. So a day it's nothing. So that's why it's really important, is that transition is a part. But what is the planetary transition? It's the great transition between two worlds. When Earth left primitive to test and atonement, it got a little a planetary transition as well. It's the great transition from, in our case, right now, is a great transition from the world of test atonement to the world of regeneration. It's transformation. We need to, and I'm going to talk about this. Planetary transitions, transformation. Transition is not only material context, it's also the moral nature, inviting us to change our behavior and giving up our vicious habits. And when we say vicious habits, it's our passions, it's our greed, it's our selfishness. It's not, I'm not talking about your addiction to cigarette. This also, it's good if you can, or, not talk about only addiction, but vicious habits. That's what we need to actually make sure we're changing our behavior, because on the regeneration, these vicious habits are not welcome. We need to live more in accordance with the divine laws. And the divine laws, it's very briefly said on the Mosaic Law, very briefly, Jesus' laws, and we in the Spiritism, Allan Kardec have asked all the questions, and we have the divine laws as a nature law. It's on the Spirit's book, and the book 3, book 3, that talks all the divine laws, how the laws we live in accordance or not. So that's the planetary transition. It's basically, of course, it's much more than that, a transition, and you read this as a transformation. And it's not only on the material context, it's on the moral nature as well. We have to do our planetary transition within ourselves as well. And as any transformation, that is destruction. And just so, then the earth is gonna end? No, of course not. The basic physics rules. Nothing in nature is destroyed. Everything is transformed. So Allan Kardec also asked about this. Is destruction of law is destruction a law of nature? And I was talking, the law of nature or divine laws, they are the same thing. And the answer, yes, everything must be destroyed. So that's be renewed. What you call destruction is only a transformation to renew and improve live beings. I'm just going to quote here. There is a section A that the Spirit goes and talk a little bit more about, because he asked about also if I destroy something. Now, the destruction we talk here is the transformation. It's not, for example, killing, destroying someone, killing. No, that's totally different. Anyway, so he come on the next question, and of course, he always try to develop this line of thinking and asking all the questions so we can get, explained. So question 729. If destruction is necessary for the regeneration of beings, why does the nature surrounds them with the means of self-preservation and conservation? Because we know that. And here he was talking about the destruction, everything that dies, a tree when dies, our body when dies goes to, we return to dust. So this is, so if everything's, why do we have to self-preserve? That's so that destruction only happens at the right time. Premature destruction delays the development of the intelligent principle. That's why God has given each being the desire to live and reproduce. So we know live and reproduce is an instinct that we always gonna have with us, having this part or not, we're gonna always be with us. So just gonna make sure that everything's here. It's okay. Yeah. So a destruction happens at the right time, not always or anything. That's what happened. Our planetary transition now is at the right time. it's not the right, it's not always, it is the right time. And the other thing as well I'd like to bring here, this part of people think, oh, it's the end of the earth. No, it's not. Come on, it's not the end of the world. It's not. It's a transformation. So yes, can a complete form word disappear and have its matter then be redistributed through space? Yes, God's renew words just as living beings are renewed. So those things happen, but we know exactly, science has explained this, thanks God, that Earth it's gonna disappear someday, but the sun needs to disappear as well. This is like in billions and billions of years. It's not something right now. Right now we are in a transformation, in a transition. So it's not the end of Earth. It's just a transformation. So, pardon a little bit because I think I'm having a little bit of the big screen here. Yeah, hope it gets. The big screen here, it's not working as intended. Just 1 minute here. Just connecting, make sure the cables are connected. Anyway. So, what's the next? Planetary. What happens on the planetary transition? Now we're going to get to the beings that, the spirituals that are reincarnating in how we as spiritual beings going to transform, going to make sure that we evolve to be in the regeneration world. So more evolved spirits are reincarnating on Earth to help us on the process of regeneration. Some spiritualists believes that they are coming from the Alcyon plates because of the light, the belt that we going through. By the way, this year is actually coincides with the Maya calendar. The whole 20,006 years of the system going around the constellation of the Alcyon, the Blades of Alcyon. That is coincide with so that's why in 2012, as the calculation, it ended just 1 year, one solar system going around the plates, and lots of people thought that was the end of the world. No, it's a transformation. So just moving. So let's gonna go back to more evolved spirits that are reincarnating on Earth to help us on the process of generation. So they might be coming from Alcyon constellation because we know that there it's more evolved than us. So they are coming here and we call them a new generation. So, but they're gonna be a new generation? We have to be careful because this is not related to indigo crystal children, or it's not related at all. The new generation, they have their certain characteristic, but we cannot put back in the same way that they classified indigo, and it's different. So that's just, and there are those spirits that are coming mission here to help us, but we as have to evolve to this new generation. We have to develop to this new generation because that's the new generation that's going to be on the regeneration world. So that's going to talk a little bit for you to understand about the old generation and the new generation. The old generation tendency to the degraded passions. Again, this is the tendency to vicious habits. So we have to give up our vicious habits. We have to be a bit we have to live selfishness, greed, the feeling that, it's mine, it's my right, it's me, it's not me, it's us. We're all together. We live in community. We live in society. We have a spiritual family, huge spiritual family that lives with us. So we have to kind of leave the old habits, the tests and atonements, vicious habits. Now, old generation, rebelling against God. And here, not saying about an atheist, they say, oh, I don't believe God because I'm an atheist. They're atheists. They're much more spiritually developed than a lot of people that say call them religious people, that they believe in God. This is rebelling against God is when you don't follow God's law, when you don't follow the divine laws. This every time, in every single action you do that is going against God, even if it's small action. So that's more the nature. It's not being religious or not. That's a big difference. Denying of the divine providence and the power above humanity. Divine providence, some atheists, they don't believe that God, an old man with beard, white one. They believe something that's more cosmic, maybe an energy because they feel it, So again, we cannot say, oh, because you don't follow this religion, you're not good. No, it's not. It's not. It's always inside with you and God, always. It's not what you do to show that you are a good person. It's not. It's between you and God, always, always. So that's all generations, including to the non-fraternal feelings. This year has been a good year that it looks like, the angels are judging you on the fraternal feelings because you have to, it's this all pandemic. You have to be, especially if you're not the risk, you have to look after the ones that are actually in risk. So you stayed at home, you wore your masks, you gave social distancing not because of you, but because you could be, the cause of the death of someone else. You could be the one transmitting this virus. So this is a big thing. Of course, it's not just one thing, So we are giving chances to work on our old generation habits to be able to go to the new generation habits. So attachment to everything's material. So we are home now. We don't need to buy lots of things that we think we needed. Maybe, yeah, who knows? But yeah, we are the transformation, and it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult for everyone, and I'm afraid we're just entering. So things might get worse than it is. I don't want to be a pessimist, but we need this transformation. We need this kind of destruction to be able to renew. Snake or lots of animals, what they do, they take the old skin. It's time for us to take our old skin and fit on the new skin, which is a bit tighter because we're not used to. It's not as loose as the other one. It will hurt a little bit. It will be more difficult. It will be uncomfortable, but we need to. So let's going to talk about the new generation now. New generation. Precocious, intelligent, and reasoning. And this is, it's actually, we have been seeing, if you go to YouTube or something, and you going through browse video, you're gonna see someone like small kid doing something amazing that you would never think a small kid would do that. Playing piano like Mozart or something. But this is not just one kid; it's everywhere. It's everywhere. That's a characteristic of this new generation, that they come with this precocious intelligence and reasoning. It's really literally everywhere. If you remember the time of the classic music, Mozart, Beethoven, there was only one at that time. There wasn't everywhere. Now we see everywhere. So that's another thing that the planetary transition is bringing to us. And they're here to help us. Tendency to do good and love unconditionally, because that's one the thing we need to live. We need to live our old habit to think only on ourselves. We have to think, on the others, love unconditionally. A pondered and innate faith. Yes, there's no time for us to say, oh no, this doesn't, not this. No, it's not like this. It's not like that. We have to have our innate faith, and the new generation brings us. And me, as I've been with the kids' gospel in the group every Sunday. I've seen a lot of things that I said, oh my God, how did you come this? This is something that I didn't teach you. I wasn't talking like this. Or sometimes I'm talking about reincarnation or something that it might be difficult for children, to understand. And they get it like this. Yes, did you know that before? Like, they actually teach us. It's pretty amazing teaching and realizing, how easy for them is to understand things that we don't see. This faith they get is something that's natural, inclinable to spiritual beliefs. We see this, so we know, and spiritual beliefs, we know that it's everything above matter. Spiritual is something that's not matter, something we can only see matter. We cannot see non-matter unless if we have developed mediumship. That's the only way. But those kids, they might not come with a mediumship developed the way we understand. They come already with this spiritual belief. They see, but it's something innate for them. It's nature and natural. Something like, yeah, wow, didn't know that before. Something, it's something like this. Capable of starting the Earth generation. So this new generation will help us. And that's what we're going to get, because that's what we're going to get with the family. Bringing Earth to the new knowledge and capabilities. They do come precocious, intelligent for a reason. It's not just to amaze us, It's to bring us and to evolve us, to new knowledge and capabilities. So it's something very important, the new generation. So I talk about the old generation. I talk about that we need to, we're probably not the new generation. If you feel you're not the new generation, we need to work to get to the new generation. But there is children reincarnating right now that already, with the whole package included. So what is the family role? What's the fun? So let's kind of talk about family, the new generation. Family is a result of a large evolution process of the spirits throughout successive reincarnations. So we come, in successful reincarnations. And it is, if we come on the same family many times, there is a reason. And we come to work on our passions, to work tendencies, to work things that wasn't well resolved in previous incarnation. So family, it's a large evolution. Family where we evolve. It's a tool for evolution. It's a school where we learn the fundamentals of happier life. At least what should be, Of course, we know there's families really, really difficult situations, but family, it's where you learn the fundamentals for a happier life. It's a course of the regeneration process. Families where the new generation find its space, preparing them to build a new world, the regeneration world. So that's the important for the family. Family, it's gonna get this. It's gonna receive this new generation, and it will play a big role on helping these kids, these spirits that are coming in mission. So that's why it's a really important role. So in the family lies a great possibility of happening the transition process. Why that? Simply because it's where, when you get your children, you can kind of mold, to become a better, or to become some of those spirits. They are really, 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 really very capable, but sometimes they need to work a little bit on their morals. So if we have a good structure, feminine, and in that case, I mean spiritually structured, you don't need to be rich. You don't need to be, poor or rich. Any type of family can bring this, so can help on this one, because we're talking about spiritual, we're not talking material things. It's spiritually talking, the moral teachings, Through successive incarnations, sometimes as a parent, sometimes as their children, we learn to love and forgive. And it could be that those new generations are coming, already working. I know it came before and already working as a, once I'm the parent and then I'm the children, to learn to love and forgiving, because that's the importance thing, in the family. That's why this explains as well why some children are really mean to the parents, some parents are really mean to, they have to come together to try to love and forgive, to work that. Sometimes it's not successful. So we have to do again and again and again, because God always gives us all the chances we need to work on this. So, and as a brothers and sisters in me, I say, and this, I mean, as a whole family, a spiritual family, where we all brothers and sisters, we get close to God and we progress. So that's importance of family, because family will help to progress, to get to, to evolve morally. And that's really, it's been always like this. But in the planetary transition, it makes a big role, because those children, they need to be prepared. They're coming here with a mission. They're coming from a different world, that the ways that they work is different, totally different. So we need to nurture them and to teach them. So I'd just like to end this with the family role. That's my last one. So what is the family? Education. And when we talk about education, talk about educating, not instructing. Instructing, school can do that. School is very good to do that, by the way. But school is for instruct. Educate your child. It's your role. It's a role of the family. It's a commitment with the spiritualization of the people, oriented about God and Jesus' teachings. God and Jesus, because that's what us the spiritists we believe in. But spiritualization anyway, this is the role of the family. The family also the role to provide with the basics, shelter, food, clothing. For instance, this is by law anyway. If you don't do that, you go to jail. But there is another role of the family, and it's a very important role to educate, either in our examples or on the education process. And examples is the way that our kids learn, So we need to be the examples. We need to leave our old generation vicious habits and become more a new generation, so we can help the new generation that will be probably receiving our family to grow, to actually succeed in their mission. We must start the process of transition at home. That's very important. It doesn't matter what type of family it is, what social status, what money or you have or you don't have. A spiritualization doesn't need any material things. It just needs you transform yourself to become more appropriate for the new generation, for the regenerating world that we're going to be in. And we don't know how long this planetary transition takes. We have no idea, because the last time we passed this probably was, I don't know, maybe it was the time of the dinosaurs. That was a big transformation there as well. That's, extreme. I don't know. We don't know, because this is something that haven't been revealed yet to us. And again, dates are not accurate enough, to represent. But we know that it's going to be a long way. Things might get worse and worse and worse, but we always have to see the part that what is this things happening is teaching me, what that they want me to change in my behavior, changing your behavior will be able to nurture and to bring this and help this new generation fulfill their mission. So the role of the family on the planetary transition, it's very important, has always been important, but for that we need to transform ourselves. We need to make sure that we are preparing them properly. So that's it for today. That's my speech. I hope you liked. I have to look at here on the screen to see if there's any questions. But if there's any questions, Stefan will post here and I answer, or if it have been answered on the thread, on the chat thread, it's okay. I'm just going to let you know. So I talk a little bit about the planetary transition. This was psychographed by Divaldo from Psychographed and was written by the Spirit Manuel Filomeno de Miranda. It's a very good book if you want to read, and it explains more in detail, a lot more in detail, the planetary transition. I just took a little bit to bring to the family role. I talk about Spirit's book, chapter 3, 5, and 6. When talk about the different words and the family ties, and the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 3, about the family ties and different words as well. So about different words. Family ties is in the Spirit's book. So if you want to go, just going to finish as well. Our activities now are on Facebook Live on our Spiritual Society of Ireland Facebook page. Our public meetings every Sunday, today 11:15. And we have talk show every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:15 p.m. Again on Facebook on our page. And we have every Wednesday our study group via Zoom meeting. If you want to participate to this one, to get the Zoom meeting details, just email us on Spiritism Ireland or Spiritism Ireland gmail.com, or you can get a message on our Facebook page, and we're gonna send you the meetings. Oh, I'm so sorry. So with that, I actually going to finish. So I'm gonna do the final prayer, and I'll just no questions. I think I haven't seen anyway. So if you want to sit comfortably and close your eyes, take your deep breath. I'd like to thank everyone for being here, to thank our spiritual guardians, our guardians of the group, for being here today with us. May we be blessed today. And everyone had a great week ahead. So be it. Okay, thank you very much, and I see you. Bye-bye. No, not me.